I have come to pull down the Holy Spirit, for you tug not hard enough, and some have so soon forgot that enveloping presence and the cloven tongues of fire so felt in this court on Pentecost. I call you to be of one harmony. Therefore, I have summoned God Harmony this night, that through his electronic presence and his mighty Dharmakaya, you might find the ability to harmonize yourselves in the 7 rainbow rays of God, of your own causal body of light. For you have been admonished of recent date to learn to be comfortable in the presence of the I am that I am. You have been admonished to be the comforter, and in comforting all life to find that Holy Spirit coming into your temple, and the bliss of God, capable of being sustained even midst the arrows and projectiles and every thought transference of minds not of this world who would deter you from the path of love. Even in another of my many arms, I do hold, one in one hand and one in the other, focuses of stone that you would call rose quartz, but this stone is not of this world. That which is similar to rose quartz, I show you. For these are not mere rocks, but they are also listening and transmitting devices. Thus, I simply hold them, for I desire that you might listen this night, not to me, your listening angel, but to yourselves, recordings of your recent thoughts and feelings and musings, and some unpleasantries and other manifestations, for it is well to come apart, to hear a recording of one's mental affirmations of God, and even one's mental criticisms of other parts of life. I desire you to experience objectively, therefore, those things that you have allowed to pass not only through the mind, but through the lips, that you might be in this moment in your holy Christ self, as you would be at the conclusion of this life before the Lords of Karma. And your holy Christ self, that is both your teacher and your real self, shall then pronounce the truth and the error of thy ways. And thou, a soul of light, in the presence of God, shall surely assent to the just judgments of the living Christ. For the record you shall hear and see. Thus the Lords of Karma have sent me to speak to you concerning the final exams of the year, which have concluded at summer solstice, whereby you could judge for yourselves and give yourself grades and marks, which would be totally accurate, for you now see through the mind of Christ. The lords of karma have sent me thus, that you might pause for a moment in a cosmic interval of love to receive counsel, instruction, and warning, that if you do not apply the law of the One and the law of love that you have been taught, one day the blessings accrued to your life streams for good works must be for paying the debts of the misuse of that light and enlightenment given. Thus, beloved, learn the responsibility of love, and to be love, and to utter love. Let kind words be matched by kind thoughts, kind feelings. Learn then to let the love of God ooze from every chakra, from every pore, as the oil of love itself that comes from all of your being. Let there be the strengthening of these frames of thy house, these 4 lower bodies. Approach this project diligently and scientifically. Strengthen, O strengthen the shaft of the will of God. Now, beloved, your soul shall hear from this moment and through this night, and even for some for many weeks, a true rendering of your manifestations, that you might look upon yourself as though you were another person standing next to you, and you might size up, as you say, that individual, and from the standpoint of your Holy Christ self, instruct that one and assist that one to change, and then determine in your heart that you shall be your Holy Christ self in action. I am listening, angel, and I have spoken to you of the necessity of listening to God. In this my dissertation to you tonight, I would speak of the necessity of listening to oneself with the view to raise the vibration so that there is a merging of your soul with your Holy Christ self by the power of the Holy Spirit's love. And in that merging, beloved, all things are boosted by light to a proper frequency, and you do not go to the depths of the valleys of the sine waves, but you find a greater oscillation without having to descend. And yet the ascent does come, and by the descent will return. But it shall return when you are strengthened, so that the oscillation of light, and with it the descent of thy entire being into the depths of the astral plane and death at hell itself, shall be for light, consuming darkness, dispelling it, annihilating it, transmuting it. And you, as one with that light, shall not be moved. Oh, the joy of self-mastery in this octave. Oh, the joy of walking this earth in the full mastery of your holy Christ self. This is the path of the Bodhisattva, which Kuan Yin and Mother Mary can teach you if you ask them. Balance, beloved, and the great love of perfection, the great love of the law, and the desire to be that incarnate that others might see and know the way by merely glancing at you. None can hide the aura of light, nor the magnet of the heart that draws all people to the feet of their own I Am presence. None can deny it, beloved. Therefore, let thy light shine, for the light will shine. The light will pierce the darkness. It will pierce even those committed to the night. Blessed ones, the day does arrive when thy light is seen. In that day, may you have the possession of all of your faculties, and may you be in control of the thoughts of the mind, the musings of the heart, the desirings, the feelings so deep of the soul. Blessed ones, opportunity is expansive in this moment for you individually to bequeath to a world a path, an example, and a teaching. I will be listening as you speak to me of the conclusions you have drawn from listening to yourself. You may report these to your Christ self, to any or all of the ascended masters. You may give them to the messenger if you will. But by all means, as the new heaven and the new earth is in matrix all around you, may you know that to lock into that cosmos, you must come into that hour of supreme self-possession. May you desire it, may you long for it, and may you know that the dispensation of the open door, wherein thy eyes shall see thy cosmic teachers, is truly at hand. The teachers have arrived. Where are the students who have put aside all these things, who have willed to shut out the negative, who have willed to receive the positive against minds of black magicians and fallen angels? Who has the sharpness of mind to let the sword go forth from the third eye to pierce those negatives and that aggression of the sinister force? Beloved hearts, own your mind and see it as the temple of Buddha, not filled but emptied, as his palace of light, and as the greatest receiving and sending station of all of cosmos. Canst thou let a thought fly to the central sun, and thy thought be there in an instant all one? I say, you may think you can do it, but not all of you have the attainment of that built-in force that is released by a cosmic spring, whereby Alpha raises his eyes to behold even by the thought itself and the ray of the thought, thyself at once in the central sun. Practice this as you speak less and glory in your heart that God has placed in you already all those things necessary for the transfiguration and for the transfer of thy soul to any place in thy kingdom, his kingdom, thy mansion, his mansion. Oh yes, beloved, I am listening angel, and I receive the pulsations of a cosmos, for truly I have the inner ear of God. Roses are falling upon you from angels who love you. May you smell their perfume and remember when it is your turn to cast roses upon all whom you meet, as God's love does consume every lesser manifestation. Though Jesus said it, and it has been said again and again, there are those among you who must be reminded that there is little virtue in extending love to those who love you. But the test comes to extend that love to those persecutors who revile and say all manner of evil against you falsely for the sake of the living Christ. To love the enemy until the enemy turns into love, else disappears from thy sight. Blessed ones, the blasts of divine love, go forth always as cosmic opportunity. May you pass your tests of love from this day on better than you have passed your year-end tests. Oh, beloved, let it be, let it be. God is with you. Where will you flee from his presence? Where will you go in all the earth? God is where you are. Be still and know that the I am in you is God, and be willing to fight all of death and hell, to defend that God within you and that vibration of your higher bodies converging here below. I will tell you what the karmic board has told me to tell you. You have in your hand, in your heart, and in your mind all that you need to become masters in the earth, adepts, initiates. Love is the key. It will fulfill all things, and the powers will come to you, the cities, as naturally as you breathe. Seek love, and all these things shall be added unto you. Find, therefore, someone to love who needs your love, the impoverished soul, the saddened one. Exercise your powers of love and loving, beloved, and you shall know self-mastery and the balanced, expanded threefold flame and individual Christhood. In the words of Jesus Christ, I, listening angels, say to you, may you love one another as I have loved you. In gratitude for this dictation, and to anchor these blessed chords of love, let us sing to Chamuel and Charity. Number 288. Please stand and make your calls. To Listening Angel, to Chamuel and Charity and the Holy Spirit.